Welcome to an all new episode of my healing journey. Because healing is not a once off process, but it's a lifelong journey. And so, this is a space that I have created to allow you to get to know me better, to get to know the person behind the Safe Place to Land, why I started doing what I do. And so I am happy to have you here with me, and I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time and spending your energy here listening to what I have to say. And the past two episodes have been basically me trying to get you to know where my healing journey started. I started the story talking about my marriage and what happened there. And I truly hope that those two episodes, that as you listen to them, it wasn't a space for you to assume that maybe I'm trying to discredit my husband in any way. But it's a platform that I felt like I needed to share my journey in order for me to be able to share where I'm going in my healing journey. It was important for me to share where I come from, how it started. And now this is where we are together and you can see how it's going. So basically you are just following me here. The main thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is the power of slowing down. Yes, the power of slowing down. It is a game changer. And I think because we all have different personalities, there's people who have personalities like mine where everything has to be done quickly. You move quickly, you walk fast, you eat fast, your showers are very quick. Everything for you is just let me get this done and move on to the next thing. And I think if you have that type of personality, learning to slow down is going to change and improve the quality of your life. I can say this with so much conviction because I've seen it happen in mine. And so I used to be that person who just believed that if you fast, then you're smart. If you speak fast, you are smart. If you just have to move fast in life. And I wouldn't say that it's a good quality. I think there's always positive and negatives to everything. But I truly believe that it was kind of like a survival instinct for me. So I'm not sure as of yet as to where it came from, but somewhere in my background, I learned that you just have to move faster to get things done. And unfortunately, it does go with some negative aspects, such as if you are this type of person who believes in move, get things done quickly, you are usually very impatient. I know that because I'm working on it to this day. You are a perfectionist. You struggle with getting things right the first time. You do not allow yourself room to make mistakes. And because you don't allow yourself room to make mistakes, you don't allow others to make mistakes as well. It also goes with the personality type that is very harsh. We believe that tough love is the best. Tough love changes people. So we want people to be like us because we assume that we are better because we get things done. And so when you see someone else who moves at a slower pace in life, the conclusion is usually they are lazy, they are not getting things done, they are not moving the way that life needs them to move. So we usually have a very harsh understanding of other people. I remember when my husband was still alive, and we would leave the house and go to do some shopping, just normal grocery shopping. And we had one car, so he would normally drive and I would be on the passenger side. But if wherever we get to where we're going, I would be the first one out of the car. And I would be so irritated outside of the car having to wait for him, because I'm like, what on earth is he doing? He should be out of the car already. But as life went on, as I continued to observe, I realized that even though that I was the first one, I would get out of the car quickly. My husband would just take his time to make sure that he had everything that he needed. I usually, when I get to the place that where we need to get to, I forgot something in the car, I forgot something in the house, because you are never present for the moment. It's always about get to the next thing, move to the next activity. And so learning to slow down has allowed me to improve on some of the negative qualities that I mentioned. Impatience, being harsh towards other people, perfectionism. It has allowed me to actually be present in moments. And I think the other thing that we usually struggle with for people who have the personality that is like me, we struggle a lot with not being able to enjoy moments. Because our brains are moving at a fast pace, we are always thinking about the next thing. Okay, if this moment is good, then I have to prepare myself for the bad moments that are still to come. And so you never enjoy what life has to offer and what life gives you in that particular situation or in that particular moment. And I remember I used to really be that person who's always waiting for the bow to break. I'm always waiting for the other shoe to fall. You know, if something is going good, then what's the worst that is going to happen? And you are never in the present moment. And one thing I can say about my husband, when he was in a moment to enjoy, he would fully enjoy it. And so those are some of the things that I was really learning in our marriage. I was learning a lot about myself more than the other person. And so learning to just, slow down in different areas of my life has really allowed me to be a more present person, a more joyful person. Like if I have to enjoy the moment, I am going to take the time to enjoy the moment. And slowing down it doesn't have to be on specific areas of your life. I promise you, it works in all areas of your life. Slowing down in terms of the pace that you walk, because there's people who walk fast for no good reason. You're not rushing anyway, but your body is just wired to walk faster. Slowing down in terms of your speaking, your communication with other people, slowing down to listen more and speak less, slowing down in terms of even your eating, because we tend to be people who are very quick. Like you quickly finish your food. Everything is a rush, for goodness sake. Slowing down in terms of your driving, slowing down in terms of your breathing. These are all the things that we are going to be looking at today. And I'm going to be sharing with you some examples that I've lived through on how slowing down has really improved the quality of my life. And the first one I think would be slowing down in terms of my communication. When I speak to people or when I listen to people. I used to be that person who speaks very fast, and I never really took the time to listen. And there's also a very critical quality that comes with it, because you feel like if a person is speaking slow, it means they don't know what they're saying or they are not smart enough. And having to change from that mindset and allow myself also the room to say, I can speak slowly. That has been a game changer in my relationships. giving people the room to speak, learning to listen has allowed me to get to know other people's views and how they've moved through life. And it allows you to connect with people even more on a deeper level. I think that's been the main thing for me that has really improved in my life as I adapted this power of slowing down. It has improved the quality of my relationships, and it has improved my understanding of other people. The patience to listen to people, because we tend to feel like if a person is not speaking in a certain accent, then I don't have the patience to listen to them. I don't need to hear what they have to say because, or maybe they are using broken English, then I don't have the time to listen to what they have to say. I think me learning to slow down in terms of communication has allowed me to say, I want to hear what you have to say. And the language of communication or the channel of communication doesn't have to be the only reason that makes me interested in another person's view. I'm going to be interested whether you are a powerful speaker or you're not. I want to hear what you have to say because there's power in learning from other people. So that has been the one thing that has improved my relationships to other people. And I think it has also improved my communication style. I'm not saying that I'm the best communicator. I feel like I'm not the best communicator. I feel like I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. But I've also learned to speak slowly, which allows me to actually hear what I'm saying. When you speak fast, the intention of your communication might not align with the actual words that are coming out of your mouth. But when you slow down your pace and you actually hear yourself speak, then you are able to align the two. The intention and the words come into alignment, and the communication process is a bit more effective than it would be in the other scenario. And so that's one of the things that I've seen. Learning to communicate slower has really improved in my life. It has definitely improved the quality of my relationships, how I connect to other people. And it has definitely also improved my confidence when it comes to speaking. Feeling like I have control over my words. I don't just say things, but I can get the opportunity to think about what I'm saying and to hear the words that are coming out of my mouth has been a true game changer. And then the second part is learning to walk slowly. Oh my God, guys, it is, I do not know where it comes from, but I do believe that it's a trauma response. It's a survival mode that we learn as we are growing to say, I need to do things fast. It becomes your default setting. You just become a fast person and you believe that being fast means that you are better than the next person, but it's not like that in real life. And so me learning to walk slowly has really been a game changer in terms of having the ability to hear myself, hearing the truth within me and hearing my intuition. This is one thing that I do the most when I have decisions to make, when I have choices to take. I usually just decide I'm going to take a long walk, and I'm very intentional about that. And when I started, you guys, it wasn't easy because when I would go out with the intention to walk and I would see other people running, automatically I would want to run myself. And now I've lost the whole purpose and the whole intention of what I had initially wanted to do. Oh, there's a sense of competitiveness within yourself that is like, I could be running, walking I'm burning calories slower than how I would burn them if I was running. And so there was many times where I left the house with the intention to walk, but I ended up running. And so it has been a very intentional process for me to say, I am going for a walk and I'm going to walk. And learning to even slow my walks down even more, because I started off walking and I would walk at a fast pace. And when you're walking at a fast pace, you can't pay attention. You're not paying attention to the people around you. You're definitely not paying attention to yourself. So I've learned to walk slower and slower and slower. And it's a process. It's not a once-off thing. And that allows me to actually hear what I have to say. It allows me to connect with the truth that lives inside of me. And that guides me when I need to take a decision, that directs me when I need to take a choice or an option. And you just get an opportunity to hear yourself think and speak. You get to hear that inner voice that all of us have, but most of us cannot hear it because we are just living life on a fast pace. So taking walks and learning to slow them down day by day has really allowed me to live a much more content life, because I'm not making decisions because of other people's views. I'm not making decisions because what I heard someone else say. I'm making decisions because of what I heard myself say. I'm making decisions because of the peace that I feel inside of me when I think of a certain option. And sometimes you need that space and time to actually consider how you feel about different choices or options that you have. And it doesn't always guarantee that you will always make the right choice or you will always choose the right option, but it guarantees you peace in the process. And if you have peace, then you are able to deal with whatever is on the other side of the choice you made, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. And that has been another game changer for me in my healing journey, just learning to slow down and walk. And not just walk, but even be very intentional about slowing down the pace of my walks. Like, hear every footstep. Pay attention to what I see around me. Pay attention to the nature that I see around me. Pay attention to the sounds that are around me. It all works together to help improve the quality of your life. And yeah, so the third one has been breathing. This has been, this is a huge one because I think it is overlooked a lot by most of us, because it's something that is biological. You know, if you are alive in this life, then there is a breathing process that is happening within you. You are taking in oxygen and taking out carbon dioxide on a daily basis. Every second of every moment when you are alive, that process is happening. So it's easy for us to overlook it and really not pay attention to the actual breathing process that we do daily. There's an episode that I did with Morty DC, who's a wellness practitioner, and she spoke a lot about breathing, and she does breathing exercises. And I'm hoping that you guys can also go back to that episode and hear more about breathing, the importance of breathing. In my life, it really helps to calm me down. I'm a person who easily gets frustrated, which I have learned in my healing journey that it has a lot to do with my past experiences than the actual present, because you find that the things that trigger you are usually the same. And so learning about my inner child has really allowed me the opportunity to say, I don't have to react to the situation, but I can respond. And that response process, you need to breathe in order for you to be able to respond, because even breathing allows the oxygen to go through your brain, which will help calm you down. And so you can handle the situation in a healthy way than just having to react to what is going on. And so breathing is one of the things that really has improved the quality of my life in terms of calming me down in really frustrating situations, helping me recognize, oh, okay, this situation is very familiar, and this is probably an issue that relates to my inner child. And I can, now that I'm older, I have techniques and I know how to calm her down. I know how to breathe and say, it's okay. I'm here now to protect you. You are no longer that child that didn't have protection, but now I'm here. I'm going to take care of you. And all of that is happening while you breathe. And you have to be intentional about it. I'm not saying that you just stand there and say, I'm breathing. You have to be intentional. You have to hear the breath coming in through your nostrils and going down to your lungs. You have to pay attention to that. That's what breathing is about. And that's what the episode that we did on the Safe Place to Land, really, it teaches you how to breathe. She speaks a lot about that. That has been a game changer for me in terms of how I respond to situations that I find very frustrating, and how I respond to even my child at home, my toddler. You know, kids are always doing things. They just do things randomly. And it's easy for you to get frustrated or triggered in different ways. And then you respond to your child in a very unhealthy, very destructive way. But when you can learn to slow down and breathe in those moments, you can respond in a very loving way. Just because people do things the wrong way, it doesn't mean they need to be belittled. They need to be put down. We need to find better ways to respond to situations. We don't have to react, but we need to learn how to respond. And breathing is one of the greatest ways that can help calm you down and allow you the opportunity to respond. And yeah, so another area that I have learned to slow down, this one is a bit tricky because I'm still struggling with it, but at least I am aware. Eckhart Tolle usually says that your true self is the awareness. And I believe that, because when you are aware of your behaviors, of your feelings, of your emotions, of your thoughts, that's when you can make changes. And that comes with consciousness, of course. So another area that I'm learning, I'm going to say I'm learning to slow down is in terms of work, career, a job that maybe a person might have at home. So for me, because I'm now in a space where I'm doing my own thing and I'm building my career, I'm building a legacy. It's very easy to put yourself down and say, I'm not doing enough, I should be doing more. And look at other people on social media and say, oh, look at so-and-so, they are doing so well, they are on top of things. Why am I not getting things done? I now move in a space where I am like, I've done what I can, and now I have to allow time to take its course. I think we make a lot of mistakes and we take wrong decisions when we are moving because we want to catch up to other people, when we are moving because we want to be more productive. We want to show people who we are and what we can do. So I've learned to say, even when it comes to my career, I'm allowed to not work in a day, to choose to say, okay, this day I'm not looking at social media. I'm not doing anything that is related to work. It allows me to be more productive because I get an opportunity to reflect back onto why I started what I'm doing. Because there's a lot of people who start really great businesses and really amazing organizations, and only to find them along the way having deviated to the opposite side of the real and the true intention why they started doing what they are doing. Because there's a lot of distractions in life. There's money, there's people who want you to show up in a certain way. There's validation that we want to receive from people. And those things can really drive you to move in a different lane. And so slowing down in terms of your work and in terms of your productivity mentality, it allows you to stay grounded. It allows you to stay true to yourself, true to the intention of why you do what you do. And it allows you to also be present for your job. And it goes for people who are also doing a 9-to-5 job that, and I know for people who are doing like a 9-to-5 job, they might feel like, no, this is what my job demands, like I can't slow down. But you can do it. You can do it in the way you interact with people in your workplace. You can do it in the way you interact with your customers or clients. Learning to be in the present more, and you don't have to make decisions in the moment. You can allow yourself the opportunity to say, okay, I hear the idea that you have, or I hear what you are suggesting, but I'm going to take some time. Maybe the next day we can talk about something a bit further. It allows you to treat people as human beings. I think this is something that can change the services that we provide to people. I think for all of us, we have to go to certain organization, those state organizations, home affairs. There's things that we need to do as human beings. And you usually get there and you find workers who are frustrated, who don't have the patience to hear what you have to say. And so people end up giving you the wrong information. They are not able to help clients the way that they should. But so slowing down in terms of how you do work, it allows you to treat every human being who walks in the door as a human being, meaning that you are interested in their story, you are interested in solving their problem. And even if you can't, you can always provide help and direction as to who can solve their problem and how they can get the help that they need to receive. And yeah, so for me, it has been hard. I don't want to lie. Adopting this power of slowing down in terms of my work and career, it has been a challenge because I've said many times that my default is to get things done, get them done perfectly, and keep moving, keep working, keep producing. But I'm slowly learning to say, okay, I need to take some time here. I don't need to implement this idea the next day. I can take time, consider how it's going to look going forward, consider how I actually feel about the situation before I do things. It is working. But I'm not going to sit here and say I'm there yet. But I'm working towards it. I'm moving in that direction. Moving slower, taking time to say, I don't need to be doing things because I'm trying to catch up with so-and-so. I'm going to do everything with intention. We make mistakes every now and then, but I always say it's better to make a mistake that you are content with, because you can deal with the consequences that come after. And so that has been a game changer in my journey, in my healing journey. And there's other areas that you can adapt this power that is in slowing down, in driving as well. You know, now that I'm a driver, I have to stop myself every now and then to say, calm down, where are you rushing to? It's insane. It's crazy, you guys. Like, someone would pass me on the road and I would feel offended that they passed me. So I need to catch up with them. And now you're racing someone who doesn't even know you. They don't even care about you. And you don't need to be driving and racing on the road. And so I'm learning as I go to say, calm down. You can drive slower. Where are you rushing to? And it really, I think it will really improve the quality of our lives in terms of accidents. You know, I had an accident earlier beginning of this year because I was rushing. I'm not going to make excuses for what I did. I was honestly in a situation because I was rushing. I didn't want to sit on the traffic. I wanted to be the one maneuvering within the cars, moving left and right and getting to my destination quicker than everyone else. And so I ended up in an accident. It wasn't a major one, but it was enough to awaken me to say, you need to slow down. And I realized I needed to change the way I was moving. It's either I was going to leave the house earlier, or I was just going to allow the process to unfold. If I am late, then I have to accept that I'm late for wherever I'm going. But it definitely does. We end up getting in really dire situations because of just impatience. You should have waited for the other cars to cross in an intersection, but you felt like you didn't want to wait because of this wiring in your brain that always says, go, go, go. And you find yourself in an accident now. It has affected the rest of your day. It has affected the rest of your month, or even it has affected your life overall because you were not able to exercise patience and the power of slowing down to say, I'm going to wait my turn. I'm going to wait until it's safe. And then I am going to cross over to the other side. I don't need to be rushing. I don't need to be trying to prove anything to anyone. And I think the biggest struggle is we live life as if we are trying to prove things to others, but we're actually trying to prove things to ourselves, because the issue is always coming from within. It never comes from the outside of you. Whatever issue that you are struggling with, it will always come from within. And so the way to deal with those issues is to deal with yourself first. It's never about the other person. It is always about you. And I feel like it helps you to be a better human being. It helps you to be more understanding with others. And so these are the things that I'm still adopting into my life to help improve the quality of my life. And by improving the quality of my life, I improve the quality of the lives of the people around me, my children, my friends, my family. You tend to show up for them differently when you are able to show up for yourself in a more loving and a more caring way. I'm truly a believer in adapting this theory and this power of just learning to slow down, to speak slower, to breathe more, to be present in the moment, and just to be able to respond to what the moment requires. If the moment requires your happiness, you can be happy. You are allowed to be happy. And if the moment requires your tears because there's sadness and pain, you are also allowed to feel the pain and cry it out. You don't have to constantly be thinking about the next thing. And I feel like that's why a lot of people who have the same personality that I had really struggle with a lot of anxiety because the brain is always racing and thinking of the next problem. Your mind tells you to think ahead. What's to come? How can I prepare? But you don't realize that because of you thinking of the next shoe or of the next stressful situation or of the next painful situation, you are bringing it to life by putting so much energy of thought into it. The power of manifestation. I hope we'll talk about that in an episode, maybe in the Safe Place to Land, because I feel like I still have a lot to learn in terms of manifestation. But yeah, I do see it. I do live in a world where you do see that if you put so much effort in terms of your mental capacity into something, it is going to come to life. You can't run away from that. But it doesn't mean also that slowing down makes you to become passive. No, it just allows you the opportunity to be present for your life, be present for every moment, and to live your life to the fullest, and experience all the emotions that life has to give. Because I think one of my problems with the church is that we have discredited emotions so much because we don't understand them. And so our view towards emotions has always been negative. But I feel like without emotions, you just cannot experience all that life has to give. From your emotions, you experience joy, you experience happiness. From your emotions, you experience stress, you experience sadness. It all comes from the emotions. Yeah, that is my journey for today. That is what I wanted to share with you guys. The power of slowing down. It will improve the quality of your life, and it will improve the quality of your relationships and how you show up for the people that you care for the most. And more than anything, it will also improve the quality of your relationship with your Creator. I believe that God is in everything, is in everything that we are as human beings. And so the theory of assuming that science then removes spirituality, I think that's the one thing that has caused a lot of Christians to live a life where everything is spiritualized. They forget that they are humans and they live in a human body. And my heart will always go out to Christians because, I started the journey and I'm still someone who's very much connected to my Father and my relationship with my God. But it has evolved in many different ways. I no longer view my Father the way I used to. He's no longer a God to me, he's a Father. And so our relationship, our dynamic has totally changed. It has totally transformed. And Jesus is no longer an outside source, but he is a source that lives within me. He's fully in me, fully encompassing the human that I am. And in that fullness, he allows me to be myself. I'm still 100% Uzanele, even though he fully encompasses me. And knowing that just gives you so much freedom to just live life as the best way you can and take in every moment the way that it is needed. Basically, the healing journey is about understanding that we are not perfect. You understand your fault, you understand areas where you struggle, and you are putting in the effort to say, I want to understand myself a bit more. I want to know why I am the person that I am, why I respond or react the way that I do. And it's never a space to hold grudges or look at our parents and blame them. It is to say our parents did the best that they could, but now we get an opportunity to to learn and to grow and to also work on the areas that our parents could not provide for us. That is why we talk a lot about reparenting yourself on the Safe Place to Land. I love spending this time with you, and I thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time to watch the episode. Remember, I'm growing, I am learning, I am in the process as well. No one is, no one has reached their A game when it comes to healing. We are always improving. Stay tuned for the next episode. But for today, remember, there is power in learning to slow down. Slow down. Love you guys. See you next time. Bye.